And guys, well, the launch of the Navi-based graphics has been an extremely important and a successful undertaking for AMD, and just when you thought the dust had settled, XFX are back with yet another model to add into the mix. And so today we're going to be checking out the 5700 XT THICC 3 Ultra. And being an Ultra card, this one here is binned to run at a higher boost clock, but that isn't the most obvious difference. In this new version, XFX have added a revamped heatsink, which is now much larger, and the memory plate benefits from the use of copper. It also carries a triple fan configuration, which promises to give even better results. XFX also claim that even though we are using more cooling fans, this one here outputs less noise. Now this card here comes with a 3-year warranty and has a price tag of $440 in the US, $669 in Australia, and so this should be a similar price point to the THICC 2, but obviously slightly more than the non-Ultra version, which has that lower boost potential. So in our video today, guys, we're going to be seeing what the differences are between this version 2 and version 3, and then at the end we'll see what kind of performance we can expect, both in terms of frame rate but also the thermals from this upgraded cooler. And before we get into our review, today's video is brought to you by Crucial and their laptop memory. Among other products, Crucial provides SODIMM kits for your laptop from 4GB all the way up to 32GB, just like this kit here. They also provide a variety of different frequencies from 2133 up to 3200. Upgrading the memory inside your laptop is one of the easiest and most inexpensive ways to enhance performance. It is something we've done recently and has made a huge difference to our workflow. For more info on what Crucial has to offer, check out the link in the description. Okay, so here is our THICC 3 Ultra. If you've seen the THICC 2, you'll know that the styling on this new card remains the same. Taking center stage though, we've got that triple fan arrangement with the upgraded cooler. Later on we'll be detaching that from the card for a closer look. And so that shroud is plastic, and personally I think that that chrome effect there does look quite cheap. But I know some of you have commented that you actually really like the chrome effect on the THICC 2 review, and so you know these kind of things are quite subjective. But it is good to see XFX creating quite a unique design. Those of you with a distaste for RGB will be pleased to know that XFX has avoided including such a feature on this card. So we're dealing with a huge card in the THICC 3, and side by side there with the THICC 2 you can see that there isn't a lot of difference at all. But for those that are interested, here are the physical dimensions. And so for the length we are looking at around 310mm. For the width you're looking at 115mm, and then the height is around 58mm. And so that is definitely something to bear in mind if you have a smaller case. Now we can expect a factory overclock on this card since it is an Ultra series model, but just like the other XTs, the overclock is achieved in a slightly different way than previous generations. So there's no absolute value for the base or boost clock. The range is defined by the power limit. And so the design and the makeup of THICC 3 Ultra means that the GPU clock boost can climb all the way up to 2025 MHz. And the memory clock operates at 1750, so that is at stock with no adjustment. There is a dual BIOS switch on this card which is tucked away and which gives us performance or quiet mode. In performance we get 230 watts, and in quiet we get 195 watts. And so in performance mode that is an increase from the THICC 2, which is 210 watts. Other things to note is that we get 8GB of GDDR6. The card is also PCI Express 4.0 compliant. It is DirectX 12 ready and supports OpenGL 4.6. It goes without saying that this is a big card, and as such it's going to occupy 2 spaces on your case and 3 slots on your board. On this back panel we've got the usual selection of video outs for the XT, so nothing out of the ordinary. And so we have 3 DisplayPort 1.4s, those can give you up to 8K at 60, and we also have one HDMI 2.0 that offers 4K at 60. And of course support there for FreeSync 2 HDR. Now the THICC 2 Ultra has an 8+6 pin connection for the power delivery, but with our version 3 there is a requirement for 8+8, and XFX are recommending a 600 watt power supply to power this card. Both of those connectors include an LED to signify if the cable isn't incorrectly. Over on the back side of the card we have a large metal backplate which supports that PCB, which is a good thing as this card is very heavy and it's large, and so we don't want any flexing. That backplate has quite a bit of ventilation to help that excess heat dispel from the components underneath. Alright, well we've taken the cooler off our card and this is what we're dealing with. The new THICC 3 solution uses a triple fan arrangement, two 90mm and a single 100mm in the center. Those fans take advantage of 0 decibel technology and will therefore stop spinning when the system is under light load for silent operation. Both fans sit on top of this triple heatsink, which might I say is huge in size, and it makes use of 4 6mm composite heat pipes. And so this is a larger heatsink compared to the THICC 2, and as well as having that CPU block featuring a copper plate. The surrounding section which sits over the memory has also been upgraded to copper as well, which makes a huge difference, as you're going to see at the end of the video. Having that heatsink removed means that we can also get a view of the inner workings of this card. So this is a custom PCB, and it utilizes a 7-phase power design. The driving force behind our 5700 XT is the Navi 10 XT GPU, so that uses a 7nm process, which is based on the brand new RDNA technology, and based on that 8GB memory configuration and the hardware spec, this card is then destined for 1440p. So then, with that overview now complete, let's take a quick look at the performance in a range of games at 1440p with that detail preset on maximum. And for this, we're going to be putting our card up against the THICC 2 so that you can see the thermal performance comparison at the end. Now, in the web review on Vortex.net, we'll be looking at other games, different resolutions, and comparing to other XTs as well as Nvidia's offerings. Okay, and if we just come out of our last game, we can check out those temperatures. And so there you have it. It is pretty clear to see the improvement there on our THICC 3. Alright, well that was our look at the THICC 3 Ultra. This one here nudges version 2 to the side and it takes that top spot as their new flagship GPU. Now looking at THICC 2 and version 3 here, they're very similar cars to look at, aren't they? But the change really is in the thermal design, which benefits there from that triple fan configuration. In the performance test that we just ran, you'll just see that the results really are marginal, and that is something which is backed up in our web review on Vortex.net. Where you guys are going to see the major difference, the significant improvement or change, is in the effectiveness of that new cooler, which is pretty quiet but is also bigger, and it uses that copper upgrade for the memory. And it manages to give a substantial reduction in the temperature for both the GPU and the VRAM. And so XFX are to be commended for taking up such a task and being successful in their endeavors with it. You know, it's great to see a brand go away and address some of the concerns which became apparent following the launch of the XT in regards to the VRAM temperatures. So a big thumbs up to them for that. So this card should be available to buy now. It is $440 in the US, $669 in Australia, so it should be identical to the price of the THICC 2 Ultra. So it's a reasonably priced card, comes with that big GPU boost clock, 2025, has great cooling without being noisy, and offers that 3 years of warranty. So as always guys, the full review, the web review for this card is going to be on the screen in the description. More benchmarks, more resolutions tested, and other cards too. So today's question for you guys though is, what resolution do you game at? Just drop your answer in the top right corner. A massive thanks to you guys for watching today. Please like this video, as that really does help out. And if you're new to the channel, if you've just stumbled across us, please consider subscribing with those bell notifications enabled, and I'll catch you guys next time.